1. Over the last week, I had a mother, mid-40s to 50s, and daughter, early 20s, mid-20s? Yeah. Staying with us who were just delightful. I helped them with a variety of suggestions on the area, and overall just had a check-in that was more of a conversation than routine. They were fun, kind, and funny. They called me a few times in a row that night for various things, and I could hear them laughing that I gave them the same speech 4 calls in a row. "Thank you for calling guest services. This is Coahw. How may I assist you?" I knew it was them. They probably knew I have caller ID from hearing me answer various other calls. "Hey, can I call you back?" Without the coworker saying anything. I just like to be consistent. I was also busy as hell, and they knew it. I like the reassurance of not giving the tired, "Oh my god, you're calling again" voice. "No, you aren't bothering me. This is what I'm here for." "Hey, it's me again. I'm sorry, blah blah blah." So the next day they come back from doing a variety of things, some of which I advised them on, had my shuttle take them to, etc. I asked them how everything went and if they had fun, and the mother says, "You know, we were talking. You're so polite and nice. We wonder what you're really like. You must thank God, all these stupid guests." I told her I had been doing this for 14 years and that it really isn't a job you can do for long if you don't enjoy talking to people and helping them. Reading between the lines, yes, people can drive you insane, and there are bad guests. I didn't expand this much, but in general I enjoy being good at what I do, making an impression. And even when shit is bad, if you connect with someone before it goes bad, it's extremely difficult for them to treat you like shit. They already like you and know you care. It's the ones that come in already full of hate that you just can't really reach and will be a mess. The next day they come back again from being out, shuttle, etc. And she pulls the same thing, "So we were talking, and I don't know. I said I think you should be a manager, and my daughter says that you are the manager. So what's the deal? You definitely should be a manager." I explain that I am, but COVID, limited staff, what I'm in charge of. I also don't really look like a manager, as I can't really afford to dry clean my suits, so I'm full business casual now. Nice sweaters. We don't even have uniforms for our staff. I've had so few days off since January. My hair is long and unruly. I've been killing myself to accommodate what little staff I have. For the first time in my entire career, I have the GM covering the desk shifts even, with me working 6 to 7 doubles overnights, etc. I joke with them that you can count my days off in hair length. We have a laugh. They come the next day and ask me if they can extend my stay another 4 or 5 days. I tell them yes. And eventually we get to when I'm working, and explain I actually have 2 days off this week by some miracle, and will be gone the next 2 days. They're like, "Cool, please enjoy, get some rest. We'll at least see you before we go, and we'll probably extend and stay even longer." I get in today for the AM shift because it's my AM person's kid's birthday. I've been mostly evening, overnight, and my sleep is totally messed up, and slept for like 3 hours. I'm exhausted. It's Friday morning. I get slammed for hours from the second walk-in. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing these two. Like just a breath of fresh air on a shitty day. Around 11 AM it comes down and I'm like, it's weird, I haven't seen them yet. They should be going out to do stuff, breakfast, something. Put in their room 426. Vacant. Did we move them? Did we somehow utterly mess up while I was off? And they left. Pulled it up. They checked out a day early. Totally bizarre based on our last conversation. It actually bugs me. I text the person who was working and ask if they know why they left, if something happened. No answer, no emails about them. Check my office and see if maybe they left a note. That sounds kind of weird, but plenty of people I've had a good connection with have left notes for me. Hey, sorry, we missed you. Really appreciated everything. We'll see you next time, etc. Nothing. Oh well, they were cool. Maybe I'll call them and make sure everything was okay. Someone comes to pay for something in our shop, and I open our drawer to put the money in. A greeting card with Coahw on the front is sitting there. I laugh, smile. Well, I'm pretty sure they did leave me a note. Open it up, and before I read it, I see a check. Old school. No, people leave gift cards sometimes, maybe a few bucks. Sometimes they give me money to make sure a specific housekeeper gets it. It's not that out of the norm to get a card with a tip, but a check is for $150. The memo says thank you. Dear Cow Miner, thank you so much for your superb hospitality. This was a trip down memory lane for me and my daughter's first visit to the area. We appreciate your good-natured humor, helpfulness, and genuine desire for us to enjoy our stay. We wish you well in the future and wanted to give you the enclosed check as a token of our thanks. Fondly, super nice guest and daughter. It's interesting because our hotel sold and is closing for a year for a massive conversion. We are all being laid off after vastly outperforming the comp set during COVID. I've been there off and on for 14 years, some for 10 to 40. I'm trying to redo my resume and I just want to hand everyone that card. You don't need to read my resume, read this. It was the kindest, most reassuring thing that I'm actually good at what I do. I could use that money too, but that is just an afterthought. I take a hotel full of people like them every day of the week and work my ass off for them. 2. I just finished training and am currently at my second solo shift. I think I have the hang of things and know most of the gossip, but if anyone has any tips, please feel free. Anyway, this is about an interaction I had halfway through training. Context: I work at a hotel along a major highway that runs through a few small towns, and we're next to a brand new school currently being built to service our area. That means we have a lot of workers during the week who know the drill since they're here all the time. I trained on 7 to 3 shifts a lot, even though I do 3 to 11s. And this is one of the days I was being trained during the day by the assistant general manager. Our worker came in. We'll call him Bill. And I hand over his reg card and ask to see his ID. Since he's a direct bill, I don't need a card. Just a way to verify his identity since I've never seen this man in my life and it's policy. His response: don't have one. You don't have your ID? I'm immediately like, I don't think I can check you in then. Let me grab my AGM. He comes out of the office and asks Bill if he has any form of ID, even a picture of it. Don't most people keep a picture of it just in case? This guy didn't, apparently. Nothing, not to mention this guy's being pretty rude, saying he's never had to show his ID before and the manager should train his people better. To the manager. AGM would have cancelled his reservation, but our owner was in the office as well, and he hates losing money. Basically, he'll break any policies for a buck. So the AGM gets him out, and the owner says it's fine and starts talking Bill's ear off. Me and AGM were pissed off, but what are we supposed to do? I just go back to looking at other stuff, and after about 50 minutes, Bill and owner's conversation ends. Bill has to show me something. It's his ID. He told me he had it all along. He was just bored. My head almost exploded, but I just smiled and walked away. Seriously, who thinks it's funny to make someone's job harder? Thankfully, most other people I've dealt with have been more than kind, but I'm still mad about this dude. And before anyone says, yes, I do know pictures of IDs aren't acceptable. My GM is really good, but the rest of the management are really iffy on policies. Like I said, I just started, so I'd appreciate if you guys would just tell me if I'm doing something wrong, rather than call me out on a separate post I have nothing to do with. Thanks. 3. Way back when I used to work at a hotel, we had an employee's cafeteria in which we could eat for free, or a low price, don't remember which. The food on the cafeteria would be determined by the hotel's today's menu. At the end of the night, usually when I got out, around 11 p.m., the workers at the cafeteria and the local Starbucks inside the hotel would leave any leftovers in these mini lunch boxes. Starbucks would leave mostly cakes and cookies as extras. It was rare we would see something like a drink or a sandwich. We all have been taking for either dinner or next day lunch or even breakfast, depends on food. Well, one day after coming to work, we were told that we were no longer allowed to take lunch boxes home. We all complained because most weren't hungry at the time we clocked out and would love to take food home. We asked for an explanation or the reason for it, but here's the thing. They never gave us a clear answer. I'll pick the 5 that I remember the most. A higher-up saw this happening and didn't like that we took food home for free. A higher-up saw someone, a worker of the hotel, with a lunchbox outside the employee area, and thought that this wasn't a good image for the hotel. An employee had a lunchbox going out. A hotel guest saw he had food. Asked where he got the food. Cafeteria was closed. And the employee said he got it for free. And the guest said, "Since you got it for free, you don't mind if I take it, and you go back get some more." And then proceeded to take the guy's lunchbox, and a scuffle started. The higher-ups thought that taking food for free or home from the cafeteria was a security risk. A higher-up thought it wasn't fair that the employees got free food while their hotel guests don't. So, after the announcement was given, now at the clock-in, clock-out station, there were security checkpoints. So now the security forced everyone to empty out their bags, pockets, lunch bags, etc., in order to prevent people taking food from the cafeteria outside the hotel. Otherwise, if you refuse, they would report you and terminate or give you a write-up by your manager the next day. But here's the fun part. They only had one exit, they made everyone go. Me and other co-workers would just hide our food in the bags or pockets, and just make our way to the front of the hotel and exit through the main lobby. Sure, it was a longer walk to the parking lot where our cars were, but we still got our free food. I don't know what's the deal with companies and their higher-ups. When they see people in a lower position of them, they would treat them like trash and take away anything nice from them, only to save or gain a few bucks. But oh well, good thing I don't work there anymore, and doing much better in the current job I have now. 4. I work security for a hotel franchise in a state with lots of tourists. This happened last year, a day before a summer holiday at my last property. My night started off as usual. A few requests for bed linens, a couple noise complaints, nothing too major. We run a 2-person crew, security gets to be anything and everything at night. Shit started to wind down around 1 a.m., which is typical. This resort typically was jam-packed with super-duper shiny and entitled families, and members of the greatest generation. I went back to my office and started having my lunch and watched some Netflix. Around 2 a.m., I got a call on the radio from our night auditor, who is a veteran employee. "Front desk to security." "Go ahead." "I have a situation up here. There's a guest in room 2091 that is here at the desk and wants someone to be removed from their room." "Okay." At this point, I call the night auditor for more information, and I pull up their information in PMS. Their market code is the employee rate. Awesome, I thought, just what we need tonight. So I drive down to the reception area, and right as I'm about to get to the exit gate, there is a car parked in front of the entry gate. I stop and inquire with the driver if I'm able to help them. I'll call her Employee of the Year. "Can I help you?"
"Yes, I'm Employee of the Year, and I need you to get my boyfriend out of my room."
"Okay, is he on the reservation?"
"No, he is not."
"Okay, why am I removing your boyfriend?"
"Well, he threatened he would kill me if I don't make love with him tonight, and I'm not up for it, and I think he really will, and I'm scared."
It was at this very moment that I realized that this was way over my head in training, and I tell Employee of the Year that I have to contact the authorities, to which she agreed is probably the best course of action. I contact our sheriff's office and explain the situation to the dispatcher, and they tell me it might be a while if the complainant isn't currently with the perpetrator. Okay, I thought to myself, makes sense. So I make some small talk with the Employee of the Year, find out she works for another hotel of the same brand that just opened in the area, and that she just needs to get to bed and forget about tonight. About 5 minutes later, she complains that she needs to use the bathroom and to let her through the gate. I told her I am not opening the gate for her, especially after telling me that she was afraid the person in her room was going to kill her.
"Open this fucking gate now or I will drive through it! I gotta pee!"
There's a restroom in the reception area.
"I want to use my bathroom I'm paying for, asshole."
Well, I'm not opening the gate. At this point, it clicked that she did not have a room key, which means that she cannot open the gate to access the building, much less her room. When she realizes I am not opening the gate, she throws her car into reverse and drives back up to the reception building, and parks in front of the main doors and walks in. I call my night auditor over the radio and tell him not to make her keys unless she can show ID, because the last thing I need is for her to have the ability to go back up to her room and potentially be abused or worse by her boyfriend. As I'm on the phone with my management, the girl drives back to the entry gate, and she gets into the parking lot area of her building. She found her key, I guess. I end the call and tail her back to her floor, and I station myself near her room out of sight so I can hear if there is any struggle and intervene if necessary. A minute later, she leaves the room with a backpack and heads to the elevator, goes down and outside, and drives away off the property in her car. So by the time this happens, it was about 30 minutes after I had called the sheriff's office, and they still haven't arrived. I called the 911 dispatcher back to try and cancel the call, but they were going to respond anyway because we weren't sure where this boyfriend was. They show up 15 minutes later and request that we go up to the room together. I went up to the room with the sheriff's deputies, and we perform a wellness check. Upon entering the room, we realized that something was really wrong. The entire room smelled like cannabis, and there were needles, glass pipes, pill, and all manners of illicit contraband galore, scattered around every nook and cranny. No boyfriend, though. My jaw dropped to the fucking floor. In my entire time in hospitality, I have never seen so many drugs in one room. After I took photos for the inevitable incident report, the sheriff's deputies proceeded to confiscate the drugs and paraphernalia. I asked if they wanted her information, and they essentially said that they can't do much about her having it in there, because they can't prove ownership. Once they left, I pinned the room out in case she came back. Because it will be a cold day in hell before I let riffraff like that stay at my property. I went back to the front office to speak to the night auditor. He had never heard of something like this before happening with an employee. I spent about an hour writing that incident report, and I consulted with our leadership in the morning. The hotel is down a long-time employee because of the events that took place that fateful evening. 5. So lately I've been having more and more experiences that I want to share. I'm a night auditor, so my shift usually has some interesting things. I am just far too lazy or exhausted to write them up. This is just a little annoyance of mine that occurred tonight roughly an hour after I finished up my audit duties. The guest on the phone was Twatwaffle. I'm Super Audit Girl. Twatwaffle calls the hotel. Thanks for calling Major Brand Hotel. My name is Super Audit Girl. How can I help you?
Do you have any vacancies?
Now, we did have some rooms available, but I know what a call after audit was run means. Usually it's some pot smokers or drunk people trying to crash and be loud as fuck and cause problems. Plus, I was told by management that we are not to sell anything this month due to a huge group coming in. I do apologize, but we're sold out.
Okay, thank you.
Hangs up. So I go back into the office and chill. The phone rings again 5 minutes later. It's the same damn lady. Thank you for calling Major Brand Hotel. My name is Super Audit Girl. How can I help you?
Do you have any rooms available?
You fucking kidding me right now? You didn't even change your voice or anything. No, I am sorry, we do not.
All right, thank you.
I am not even kidding. As I was trying to write this up, she fucking calls again and asks the same fucking question. I was polite a third time. Like, do they really think in 5 fucking minutes since your last call, I'm going to pull available rooms out of my asshole? For fuck's sake. I'm so sick of getting up and going to the front to answer the phone for this moron. The next time she calls, I'm going to tell her point blank, you have called 4 times now, we don't have any rooms. I'm tired. Do people not understand sold out means exactly that? Nothing irks me more than the people who don't understand the plain English I am speaking to them. And by that I mean obvious English speakers who are just dumb as fuck. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Coahw, number 64. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. I've been thinking maybe should we change back to Confessions of a Hotel Worker? I think the issue that was causing that problem has been resolved now. Although to be honest with you, I've kind of fallen in love with Coahw. You know, Coahw, iPop, I kind of like the sound of them. They're just fun to say for me. I guess it's kind of become its own thing at this point, hasn't it? Maybe we'll just stick with it. I can't remember when I changed it, so maybe it's been Coahw longer than it was Confessions of a Hotel Worker. I'd really have to check. Right, let me think. What do I need to do the rest of this week? Make videos, obviously. But the weather's getting a little better. It's not super hot, but because it was suddenly hotter than you were used to, I had a bit of trouble sleeping the other night. Although I feel like I'm already used to it, so which is good. I do hope we get a really good hot summer, because we haven't had one of those for a while. I do actually quite enjoy that. I went through a period there where I really didn't. But, you know, I kind of like the hot weather. It's nice now and again. Providing I have access to many, many fans, and I think I've currently got one, two... I've got about 4 fans in the house. Maybe that won't be enough. I always think about getting air conditioning around about this time of year. They're very expensive, so I'll probably just get another fan if I need one. Which means I'm going to have to get my second one out for sleeping. I've usually got one in my bedroom going almost constantly, unless I'm recording, like right now, because the reason I don't do it while recording is... That wouldn't be very nice to listen to while I'm trying to record stories now, would it? Although it does feel quite good. Anyway, so that's my loyal fan. That's the one that keeps me cool at night. Almost pretty much every night of the year. It's rarely not on. And it's actually held up quite well. And I've got my other fan, my cheaper one, which I got before that, which actually still works very well. So when it gets really hot, I get that one out as well. So I'm trying not to sound vulgar, but I'm getting it from both ends, so to speak. Anyway, I'm going to stop yammering on and wrap things up there for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.